The topic of this video is going to be about David Icke. David Icke. You shouldn't really need an introduction on who David Icke is. He's kind of like some old school conspiracy theorist guy. He said a bunch of weird stuff about reptilians and stuff. You know, David Icke. David Icke. David Icke. So D-A-V-I-D, David, and then Icke, I-C-K-E. Icke. David Icke. I shouldn't need to give you too much of an introduction on who this guy is. David Icke, because he is quite infamous. He's like one of the most popular conspiracy theorists out there. He's like Alex Jones level, you know what I mean? I shouldn't really need to tell you too much about who David Icke is. Anyway, he's kind of like an old school guy. He's very old now. I don't know. I don't really know how old he is right now, but he has like gray hair and stuff. He's very old. You can like just look at pictures of him on the internet. He's very old. And if you want more details on his life and stuff, you can go on, type his name into Google and then go into his Wikipedia page. But I don't want to waste too much time on introducing who he is. I just want to kind of discuss a lot of the things that he was talking about and saying throughout his career as a conspiracy theorist. Obviously, I don't know if that's like his main thing. I don't know. I don't know if he wants to be called a conspiracy theorist. I don't know, but I see him like that. I don't know. Most people see him just as like some type of conspiracy theorist guy, some type of kooky guy that talks about reptilians and stuff like this. And yeah, and that's it. Reptilians, because obviously that we can start with that. Are reptilians? Because he believes that, you know, like a lot of the elite in our world aren't actually human beings. They're sort of like reptilian like creatures that are kind of in disguise. They're like in disguise. I don't know if he thinks that these reptilian like creatures are actually reptilians or if they're just something else. They're like some other interdimensional thing or something. I don't know. But David Icke, he believes that a lot of the elite in our world, like the top elite, the top level elite, like the people that are in charge of like all the banks and stuff like that, and these rich families and stuff, their bloodlines and stuff. It's kind of, I don't know, reptilian. I don't know, it's kind of bizarre. They're not really human. They're in disguise and they're something else. I don't know. I feel like he's suggesting that they're these, like a lot of the top level elite, they're not even really, they're reptilians and wearing human flesh or something, human skin costumes. I don't know. It's very weird. And the reptilian thing, I don't know where he got that from. Like, he believes that a lot of the elite in our world, like the elite that are in charge of all the banks and the stuff and these rich families and blah blah blah, they're not really human. I don't know where he got this from. It's kind of very funny to me. You know, the elite, they're reptilians. They're not humans. The elite, the people like the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the British royal family, the Queen Elizabeth. Obviously, she's dead now. You know, because people before, they were wondering like, why is she so old? How come she hasn't died? But she's dead now. So I don't know. Maybe that puts to rest the conspiracy that she could have been not human, and that's why she lived so long. I don't know. But David Icke, he believes that the reptilians, they're these reptilian creatures and they're controlling our world in so many different ways. It's so bizarre to me. I don't know where he got these ideas from. You have to kind of entertain it a little bit. I don't know. You have to at least try and entertain like a lot of his ideas. It's kind of just a fun little exercise. It's a fun brain exercise. I don't know. Just entertain like a lot of what he talks about. I don't know. Reptilians. These creatures are these non-human creatures. They're ruling our planet and stuff, and they're controlling like the elite that are like in charge of all the banks and like all these royal families as well. They're like infiltrating these like elite people and stuff, and they're controlling them and manipulating them. Maybe these elite people are reptilians in disguise. I don't know. David Icke, he has like so many. He's like a very kooky guy, man. He has so many different weird beliefs about the world. I don't know. He's so bizarre. You can go and type his name into Google and go onto like a Wikipedia page on him and stuff if you want to understand his life and stuff like that, and like where he comes from and what happened to him and stuff. I don't know. He's such a kooky guy, man. He's such a kooky weird guy. David Icke. The reptilians, they're controlling our planet. It's so weird. Where does he get this from? I don't know. Obviously, what are my opinions on this? That reptilians are controlling our planet? I don't know. It's very a lot of the stuff he talks about is so out there. It's so hard for me to like grasp what he actually means and stuff. So I don't know. Are reptilians controlling our planet? I don't know about that. How would I know? I'm not like he's saying that the elite. He's saying like the elite are basically they are either reptilians themselves or they're being controlled by these reptilian creatures. I don't know about that. He also wrote a bunch of different books, and he made a bunch of different lecture videos, and you can kind of go again, just type his name into Google and just kind of type in books or something like that, or you can see like all the books that he's written, all the lectures that he's made and stuff like that. He's made quite a bunch of different lecture videos on YouTube and on other websites like that, and he also wrote a bunch of books. Wrote a bunch of different books that you can kind of do some research on. I'm going to primarily discuss the book, The Truth Shall Set You Free. This book, The Truth Shall Set You Free. So this book is called The Truth Shall Set You Free. So the T-H-E, truth, T-R-U-T-H, shall, S-C, no, not S-C, S-H-A-L-L, then set, S-E-T, then free, F-R-E-E-E. I might have butchered that, but you know, The Truth Shall Set You Free by David Icke. Put that into Google and do some research onto that book. It's a very important book on his like that's probably one of the most important books that he's made and written about. It's so interesting, and even if it's like all this nonsense, it's so interesting to kind of read that book and to kind of see like a lot of his ideas about the world. So even like the book is somewhat, it's kind of out there and stuff like that. I'm not gonna like a lot of what he says is just kind of out there. It's impossible to kind of like to grasp what he actually means and what he's talking about. A lot of what he talks about is just so out there. That's why so many people believe he's like mentally ill. He has a few screws loose in his head, because like a lot of what he talks about is just so out there, like reptilian creatures controlling our planet. And he also talks about the prison warden consciousness, like there's this malevolent entity out there and it wants to infiltrate our dimension and reality. I don't know if he exactly talks about that, if he says it like what I'm saying it like, but because I read the book The Truth Shall Set You Free, and he was talking about like there's like this pyramid scheme and stuff like that, and there's like this weird prison warden consciousness, is like Luciferian, like this devil like creature that's at the top of this pyramid scheme, and it's trying to infiltrate our reality and stuff, and it's trying to manipulate our species to become like some type of slave race for it or something, or I don't know. It wants to feed off of our negative energy or something. It's so, man, if you read the book, because David, he wrote this book called And the Truth Shall Set You Free. If you read through that book, it's so out there. It's so hard for me to kind of even properly term everything he says in that book. It's so, because a lot of what he talks about is just so out there, man. It's so hard for me to properly put it into words for this like little, well, not little, but for this 40-minute long YouTube video. So a lot of what he talks about just so out there, man. I swear, David Icke, reptilian creatures that are controlling our planet, and they're in charge of everything, and they're manipulating our elite, or the elite that are like the elite. What do I mean by the elite? The people that run all the banks and these royal families and stuff like that. They're actually reptilian creatures themselves in disguise. It's so a lot of what he talks about is so bizarre to me, man. It's so bizarre to me. It's so bizarre to me, man. It's so out there. It's so hard for me to properly term it as well, because a lot of what he talks about is just so out there and stuff. It's impossible. It's impossible to properly to summarize everything he says, because he talks about so many different complex topics. The reptilians and these creatures and stuff like that rule our planet, and they're in charge of everything, and they infiltrate our elite, and then maybe the elite. The human, like the elite, like the people in charge of the banks and these royal families, they might be reptilians themselves or something like that. It's so bizarre. But his book, The Truth Shall Set You Free, this is such an important book that he's written about. Even if it's, because it is kind of out there, and you might see it as being just nonsense, but it's so good to like read this book and to kind of just entertain like a lot of his ideas, because a lot of his ideas are so interesting. Man, he talks about like how, you know, there's like different dimensions of reality, and you look at like these other planets in our solar system, like Mars and Venus and these other planets in our solar system, and they seem like they're wastelands, they're barren, they don't have any life forms on them. But he said that that's just because of our dimension, because we exist in like a particular dimension. These and maybe aliens and these extraterrestrials, they come from a different dimension, like we're in different dimensions and stuff, and on Mars there's like a different type of reality that exists on there, but we can't, but it's just in a different dimension. I don't know, you see, it's kind of, I sound like I'm being mentally ill and stuff like that, man. It's hard to term it, man. You alright? You alright? Oh, yeah. I'm starting on YouTube and stuff like that. You want to be on the camera, man? There you are. There you are, it. I'm alright. You coming back from work and stuff? Me? Yeah, you. I just had a driving lesson. Driving lesson? Oh, you're getting your driver's license now, man? You should go for your driving lesson. Nah, you have to get, you know, the provisional license and stuff. You have to pay for that, and then then you can get that stuff done. Did you get your provisional license? Yeah, I got my provisional. How much did it cost you and stuff? I think it was about £30. £30? Yeah. I gotta finish this off, man. You gotta go. Enjoy. If you're uploading it, just let me know so I can have a check, alright? Yeah. Alright. Guys, you like and subscribe. Yeah. Alright. Anyway, David Icke, man. You gotta, this guy, his video, I mean, not his videos, his ideas are so out there, man. His ideas are so out there. It's so hard to grasp, like what he actually means and what he's talking about and stuff like that. his ideas are so out there, man. His ideas are just so out there and so crazy, and reptilians are in charge of our planet and they're controlling everything, and they're in these elite families. There you are. Yo. I was chatting with our Kasim, man. Yo. Yeah, he said he's doing his driver's license. He's getting his driver's license and stuff. I don't know, that's kind of off topic, man. Yo, you there? Anyway, yo. David Icke, man, his ideas are so out there. It's so crazy, man. His ideas are so crazy. Sorry, I've been interrupted and stuff, and I lost my train of thought and stuff. I gotta kind of get back to what I was talking about. Like, The Truth Shall Set You Free. This is a book that David Icke wrote and stuff, and it's so important to read, even if you think it's all just nonsense. Because again, a lot of what he talks about is just so out there. But this book, The Truth Shall Set You Free, put that into Google and do some kind of try and find a free PDF copy of this book and read through it. And it's so mesmerizing. It's so entertaining. He talks about so many different important topics. He talks about how, like, you know, again, I was mentioning like the planets. We have different planets in our solar system, and you look at Mars and you look at these planets, and why aren't there any like life forms on these planets? Why aren't there any creatures or anything like that on these other planets in our solar system? And David Icke, he was saying that the reason why we can't see other life forms on these other planets in our solar system is because they're in different like reality tunnels. We exist in like one particular reality tunnel, right? And there's like these other dimensions that these other organisms and creatures exist in, and like there's these different dimensions. And you look at Mars, it's from our perspective, from our reality tunnel, we cannot see any other type of life forms on Mars because we're stuck in our own reality tunnel. But on Mars there could be a different reality tunnel, right? A different dimension where different creatures and organisms exist, but we cannot perceive it because we're stuck in our own reality tunnel. It's so important. It's so hard for me to properly to kind of talk about what he talks about. It's because his ideas are so out there, man. It's so he's such a interesting character, David Icke. Even if you think he's like a kook and he's got so many screws loose in his head, you gotta at least kind of respect the guy for like expressing his opinions and stuff like that, because his opinions, these types of opinions that he has, that there are reptilians in charge of our planet and stuff like this, and there's like these other dimensions and stuff, and there's like a Lucifer devil like entity creature that wants to infiltrate into our reality tunnel and into our dimension. Like, these ideas are so out there, they're so insane that if he talked like, yeah, you gotta respect him. You gotta at least respect him for trying to express these types of opinions, because most people that have these, like, they might have these beliefs, they might have like some type of fear of ridicule. And David Icke, he did get ridiculed a lot. People were bashing on him and kind of critiquing him so much and making fun of him for believing like all this crazy stuff. But at least in my opinion, I respect the guy, man, because he expressed his opinions. He wasn't afraid of any type of criticism. That's so respectable and admirable. But David Icke, reptilians are in charge of our planet. Is that true? Is that true? I don't know. I cannot even like speculate on what he talks about, because it's just so out there, so insane. I cannot even speculate about it. There's just a lot of what he talks about is just so out there and so insane. It's just I cannot speculate. I can't even talk about it properly because it's just so insane. How can you talk about like reptilians? Like, reptilians are in charge of our planet, and there's like this devil like entity creature, Lucifer creature like entity thing that wants to infiltrate into our reality and stuff. It's so insane. How can I possibly talk about that in a proper way? It's just so insane. It's so insane. Again, The Truth Shall Set You Free. That's like a book he wrote. The Truth Shall Set You Free. That's a book that he wrote, David Icke. And that book, you gotta read it, man. You gotta read through that book, The Truth Shall Set You Free by David Icke. So that's a book that you gotta read about. That's a book that you gotta read about. That's a book that you gotta read about, man. The Truth Shall Set You Free. I read it. I didn't read it all completely. I think I read a little bit about it. I couldn't finish it off though. I got to get back to that. Maybe, I don't know. The Truth Shall Set You Free. But I read a couple chapters from that book. It was so entertaining. It was so like the ideas and like a lot of the concepts that he was talking about in that book. The Truth Shall Set You Free. That book is so it's so entertaining. And don't spit your mask, man. The Truth Shall Set You Free. That book is so mesmerizing to me. I don't know. It's so interesting to read that book. But he talks about so many different concepts and stuff like that. He talks about so many different interesting concepts. I don't know. It's so interesting, man. I don't know. The David Icke reptilians control our planet and stuff like that. There's like this devil, like Lucifer creature thing that wants to infiltrate our reality and feed off of our negative energy. You see what I mean? This is so out there, man. It's so insane. You probably think I have a few screws loose in my head myself, because why am I even entertaining these insane beliefs? I don't know. Again, David Icke, you gotta respect the guy. You cannot do not be like, because people, they critique him and they ridicule him so much, man, because he believes in these things are out there, but at least these are just his beliefs and opinions. At least he doesn't care about like being criticized or anything like that. He just expresses himself without any type of filter, without even worrying about other people's like critiques and opinions on him. That's so admirable. He doesn't care. He doesn't have any fear of ridicule. He can just talk about what he believes in and stuff without any type of fear of ridicule and stuff. But you know, first of all, like why does he believe in these types of things, reptilians and stuff like that? And there's like this devil, like Lucifer creature thing that wants to infiltrate our reality and feed off our negative energy. And by the way, I'm getting this type of thing from like his book, The Truth Shall Set You Free. Like a lot of what I'm talking about, because maybe like David, like maybe he might not hold to these beliefs anymore. I don't know, but like a lot of what I'm like The Truth Shall Set You Free. That's a book that he wrote. When I don't know when he wrote it, but it was like, it's such an important work that he made. The Truth Shall Set You Free. I know he wrote a bunch of other books, but they're not. I mean, for me, The Truth Shall Set You Free. That's so important. That's such an important book, a literary work. You got to read through that book. If you respect me and you want to take my advice, I would advise you to read through that book, and you should be able to find like a free PDF copy on Google. The Truth Shall Set You Free by David Icke. I don't know if it's The Truth Shall Set You Free, if the title of that book is something else. I don't know, because my memory is so fuzzy about this, David Icke, but The Truth Shall Set You Free, or something like that. I don't know. Put that into Google, research about this book that he wrote. It's so important. It's so mesmerizing, the book. The concepts that he brings up in that book is so mesmerizing and entertaining. Again, reptilians, because the reptilian creatures, man, that's so... Reptilians, man, it's so insane. He talks about other things as well, but people primarily know him for the reptilians and and reptilians and stuff like that. These humanoid creature things that are reptilians as well and stuff. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Reptilians. What does he mean by reptilians? I don't know. You like humanoid, like picture like, I don't know, like lizard men and lizard women, something like that. Like a human, but like with lizard like features and stuff and characteristics. It's so insane, man. A lot of his beliefs are insane, but you gotta do some research on this guy. He made a bunch of different lecture videos. Yeah, he's primarily known for reptilians and stuff. Primarily known for reptilians. He taught again the reptilians, and he believes that they're in charge of our planet and they're controlling everything and they're controlling our politics in some way. I don't know. Maybe that's not what he might necessarily believe in. I don't know. I can't really talk about what he believes in because I'm not him, obviously. I'm just basing a lot of what I think he believes in, like off the book The Truth Shall Set You Free, on a bunch of his different lecture videos. I also think that he thinks that we're in like some type of matrix. Again, my memory is very fuzzy on him, man. My memory on David Icke is so fuzzy. Because and you know, David, he was a part of my childhood, man. Him and Alex Jones. Because when I was little, I used to like watch conspiracy videos on YouTube on my PlayStation 3 when I was like a little boy, and I was in my parents' like living room and stuff. And then there was like a PS3, and there was like a TV, and I used to actually you should know about this as well. Like the Illuminati. Do you know about that? You should know about the Illuminati and stuff like this, and all these conspiracy theory videos and stuff. And David Icke was a part of that, man. He was like sort of in my childhood, man. I do kind of admire him because of that and stuff, because he was in my childhood, and I used to like watch a lot of his lecture videos and stuff like that, along with Alex Jones and stuff. And these guys, these conspiracy theorist guys, man, they were so, because it was just so insane to me. And when I was little, like when I was like I don't know if it was like when I was 9 or 10, I was so shocked by a lot of what they were talking about. Actually, I couldn't even go to sleep properly at night, man. That's how shocked I was, man. I swear that there, you know, like there's like these malevolent creatures and people that are in charge of our planet. That's so insane to me, man. That's so insane to me, man. Because when I was little, I actually was watching through a lot of these like conspiracy theorist videos about like made by David Icke and Alex Jones and stuff like that, and stuff like that. And these conspiracy theorist videos, man, they shocked me, man. When I was like a little boy, I could not even go to sleep at night because these conspiracy theorist videos, man, that there are malevolent people and creatures in charge of our planet. That shocked me, man. I could not go to sleep at night. I used to literally, I couldn't even go to sleep at night, man. I was so kind of traumatized by these conspiracy theorist videos I used to watch when I was like, just a little boy. I used to watch these conspiracy theorist videos when I was like a little boy. When I was like a little boy and stuff, and it shocked me, man. I couldn't go to sleep properly at night. I couldn't go to sleep properly at night. You know, I'm still kind of shocked about it, man. I swear, it was so scary to me, man. I don't know, that there were like malevolent people and creatures in charge of our planet. There were malevolent people and creatures in charge of our planet, and they were pulling the strings and they were controlling our politics, and so that shocked me when I was little, man. I couldn't even go to sleep properly at night when I was just a little boy. With David Icke and Alex Jones, you gotta do some research on these guys. You gotta do some research on these guys, because the topic of this video is about David Icke, so do more research on David Icke. Alex Jones, well, you should look into him as well. I don't know, but I want to give you like, I want to kind of just advise you to look into someone called David Icke. He's kind of, he doesn't need too much of an introduction. Like, he's kind of infamous, man. He's like one of the most unpopular conspiracy theorist people out there, so I don't even need to give you too much like an introduction on who David Icke is. Shouldn't even need to give you too much of an introduction on who David Icke is, man, because he's so unpopular. And again, if you want more like about who he is and his life story and stuff, because my brain's kind of fuzzy on David Icke, man. I didn't do too much research on him and stuff, and I kind of forgot a lot about about what happened to him and stuff in his life story, blah blah blah. But you know, he has a Wikipedia page. You can go onto that, David Icke, onto Google, go onto his Wikipedia page if you want to know all the nitty-gritty details about his life. He believes in reptilian creatures and they're controlling our planet and stuff. It's so insane. It's so insane. It's so insane, man. He believes in reptilian creatures and they're controlling our planet and stuff, and they're pulling the strings and they're manipulating our politics. It's so insane, man. Because again, when I was a little boy, I used to literally watch conspiracy theory videos, and I used to influence my mind, and I used to be so scared, and that there were malevolent people and these malevolent creatures, maybe aliens, are controlling our planet, man. And we don't know we don't know anything about this because we're just ignorant and stuff. And these conspiracy theorists, they figured it out for us. Oh, that light just switched on. So cool, man. That's so nice that the light switched on. The video was gonna get kind of dark with the light switched on, so I don't know, it's kind of good now. Don't come too close, man. You'll move. There you are, man. Conspiracy theorists, man. Again, when I was a little boy, I used to go on these conspiracy theorist videos, and they shocked me, man. I swear I could not go to sleep properly at night. I swear I could not even go to sleep properly at night. These conspiracy theorist videos, David Icke, Alex Jones, and they're like, these malevolent people and creatures are controlling our planet. That shocked me, man. I swear I couldn't even go to sleep properly at night. You gotta do some research on David Icke. I advise you to do research on this guy, man. He's so important. If you're into the genre of conspiracy theories and stuff like that, if you care about like paranormal stuff, David Icke is a must. He's such an old school guy. You should read through his books and watch his lecture videos. I advise you to do that. Go read all of his books and watch his lecture videos. He's such an important person to know about if you care about conspiracy theories and these types of things, like conspiracy theories, paranormal stuff. If you care about any of this, David Icke is a guy that you need to look into, man. Reptilians are controlling our planet, other insane stuff. He also talked about extraterrestrials, and what's very interesting is in that book, The Truth Shall Set You Free, he talked about how how a lot of the biblical prophets and even the Prophet Muhammad and stuff, their encounters with these angels and these supernatural entities, maybe these supernatural creatures and entities, or actually they were extraterrestrials in disguise, so to speak. Maybe David Icke didn't really term it like this, but from when I was reading The Truth Shall Set You Free, he talked about how a lot of in our past there was all of these religious figures, their experiences with these supernatural entities. These supernatural entities could have just been like extraterrestrials in disguise. That's very interesting. Again, that book, The Truth Shall Set You Free, is it's a book that you need to kind of read about. You do some research on that book and you should kind of read through it as well. It's such a good, I don't know, it's a book that's very interesting. It's something that I recommend you kind of do some research on, man. The book is so interesting in so many different ways. It's so, even if you believe it's just all nonsense, it's so entertaining, man. It's so entertaining. All the different concepts that he talks about in that book, The Truth Shall Set You Free, is so entertaining, man. David Icke, he's such an old school guy. Now he's so old now, man. He's got grey hair. I feel like he's on his way out. I don't know if you know what I mean. He's gone soon. I don't know. He's such an old school guy, conspiracy theorist guy, man. I do admire him in so many different ways because he's so rare, man. He was getting ridiculed and all of this stuff. He was getting laughed at and stuff, but he kept going. He kept sharing his opinions and beliefs, even if people thought he was mentally ill. That's kind of admirable. He didn't care about being ridiculed or anything like that. He was so admirable, man. David Icke. Again, he's an old school guy, man. He's so old now. He's got grey hair. Damn, man. Shoot. He's so old now. He's got grey hair. He's such an old school conspiracy theorist guy. You're right in it. You're right in it. You're right in it. He's such an old school guy, man. Conspiracy theorist guy. David Icke, man. You gotta do some research on this guy. I admire him in so many different ways because he shared his opinions and beliefs, even though he was getting ridiculed, even though he was getting laughed at and stuff. People were making fun of him for believing like reptilians and like even demons and creatures like that, and malevolent entities that want to infiltrate our dimension and feed off our negative energy. All of this stuff is so out there and so insane. But he just kept sharing his beliefs and opinions, even though he was getting ridiculed a lot and stuff. I don't know. What's your opinion on David Icke? I don't know. My opinion is that he's like very admirable and stuff. Very interesting guy. He's like an old school conspiracy theorist guy. He's very old now and stuff. He's got grey hair and stuff. He's probably on his way out. But he's such an interesting guy to know about if you care about conspiracy theory videos. Not videos, I mean conspiracy theories. If you care about like these types of things like conspiracy theories and paranormal stuff, if you care about that, you gotta know about David Icke, man. You gotta do some research on him. He made, again, a bunch of different lecture videos. He wrote a bunch of different books that you can do some research on. I'm just kind of bringing up some things I remember about him and about the book, like especially like off the top of my head, about the things that he wrote in this book called, and specifically the things he wrote in this book called The Truth Shall Set You Free. I'm just kind of bringing those things up in this video. Like, oh man, it's chilly as hell, man. We're gonna keep on, and keep pushing on anyway. David Icke. He also made a video about COVID-19 and stuff like that. Remember when that was a thing called coronavirus COVID-19? Remember that? Do you remember that coronavirus COVID-19? That was like in 2020, I believe. Was it 2020 or 2021 or 2022? It's 2023 now. That's like 3 years ago. I don't know. The coronavirus. Do you remember that David Icke was saying? I don't really remember off the top of my head what David Icke was really saying about the COVID-19 thing and coronavirus. I believe he said that it was all like sort of like a scam and it was just used to control us and stuff. I don't know. He also made a bunch of different videos about the COVID-19 issue. Remember when the COVID-19 thing was happening? Damn, that was so insane. Coronavirus, whatever. That was so insane, man. That's a while back now, man. I swear, that was so insane. The COVID-19 coronavirus thing, do you remember that? That was a while back now, man. Damn, he made a bunch of different videos about that. About COVID-19 and the coronavirus thing. David Icke, such an important guy. Man, he's got grey hair now. He's getting so old. He's got to be on his way out. Who's gonna like kind of keep like spreading the message that he has? Man, I don't know. Maybe I can try like kind of spreading it, like trying to like attempt to like kind of keep like popularizing the conspiracy theories that he believed in and stuff like that, his beliefs and opinions. Maybe I can kind of try and shed more light on them and kind of carry the torch from him. I don't know, maybe not, I don't know, because a lot of what he says is kind of insane. I don't know. So maybe it's like maybe I shouldn't do that. I don't know, because a lot of what he was talking about is kind of insane. So I don't know. Again, in this video, I just don't know. Cause I don't know. David, I don't know why he believes in these types of things. Reptilians, like the prison warden consciousness. There's this evil, luciferic, malevolent, devil-like, demon-like creature, entity thing that wants to infiltrate our reality and feed off our negative energy. I don't know where he gets these types of beliefs from. I don't know, but it's very entertaining. He's just a very entertaining guy. Even if you believe he's just kind of kooky and he has like screws loose in his head, he's good entertainment. I don't know. Damn, David Icke, man, he's like a important person that you should do some research on. Damn, man. You know, when I was like a little boy, I used to go into like all these Illuminati conspiracy theory videos on YouTube when I was a little boy on my PlayStation 3. You remember when like PlayStation 3 was like the only PlayStation that was out? By the way, I have the PS5 now, man. But you know the PlayStation 3, remember when that was like in that era when the PlayStation 3 was out and stuff? The PS3 super slim, and then there was like this PS3, the original fat model, and then there was like the super slim, and then actually no, that was a later model. There was like a slim and then the super slim, blah blah blah. Anyway, I remember I had like the PS3, I think it was like the slim model and blah blah blah, and on that you could go onto like YouTube and stuff like that, blah blah, and I used to watch YouTube conspiracy theory videos about the Illuminati and stuff on my PlayStation 3 and stuff when I was a little boy in my parents' living room. It's kind of funny. I don't know. I swear I used to watch these conspiracy theories videos about the Illuminati and about like all these different types of things, these conspiracy theory videos that there are like evil people that are in charge of our planet. And Alex Jones, he made a video about the Bohemian Grove. He made like that documentary. I watched it when I was just a little boy, man, and it scarred me, man. I was traumatized. I could not go to sleep at night. He made like this documentary about the Bohemian Grove. This is like a side tangent, and this is about Alex Jones. I'm talking about David Icke, and now I'm talking about Alex Jones. It's kind of stupid, but Alex Jones, Bohemian Grove, like there's this place in like the US and stuff, is where all the rich people go to. Is like a giant owl statue, and they kind of do weird occult rituals. I don't know, and you should go on that as well. I advise you to kind of do some research on something called the Bohemian Grove. Alex Jones made a documentary about it, but that's like a side tangent. This video is about David Icke, and I'm talking about Alex Jones. Wow. David Icke, man, he's so important. He's like an old school conspiracy theory guy, man. You do some research on this guy. And I'm David Icke. David Icke. He's like an old school conspiracy theory guy, man. You should do some research on him. Do some research on him, man. David Icke. I advise you to do research on him, and specifically go through his book, The Truth Shall Set You Free. And should go through the book, The Truth Shall Set You Free. That's a book that he wrote a long time ago now. He wrote this book. It was called The Truth Shall Set You Free. He wrote that book, and it's so entertaining. He wrote it a long time ago now. I don't know. You might not be able to buy like a physical copy of this book, The Truth Shall Set You Free. Again, how do you spell that? The Truth Shall Set You Free. So THE, the truth, 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 then shall, 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 and then set, 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 UYOU, and then free, FREE. I might have butchered this. I actually tried to spell this out before. I might have butchered it again. But The Truth Shall Set You Free. I don't know. Put that into Google. Do some research on this book that David Icke wrote a long time ago. It's such an important book. It's his most important book, in my opinion, that you need to read through and stuff. His other books, he wrote a bunch of other books. I don't think they're that important. I think this book, The Truth Shall Set You Free, that book is it's like the most important book that he wrote. Put it into Google and do some research on it. Damn, man. David Icke, again, he's an old school conspiracy theorist guy, man. He was in my childhood, man. I used to watch his videos when I was like so little on YouTube on my PlayStation 3. Picture that, man. I'm like a little boy in my parents' living room. I have a PS3, and I'm watching like on YouTube on my PS3 conspiracy theory videos. I couldn't go to sleep at night, man. I remember I used to have like a Samsung phone, and you know, like the battery, because he was like the chip, the mark of the beast and stuff like that, the devil, the 666, you gotta get chipped, and all this weird stuff, conspiracy theory stuff. It got to me when I was so little, man, like a little boy. And you know, like when I had like a Samsung Galaxy phone. I don't know if it's like some old Samsung Galaxy phone, man. I had it, and there was, you know, like the battery in the back of like that phone. I got it, and then like, you know, like the barcode thing, I scratched it out because I thought it was like demonic and stuff. Man, these conspiracy theory videos traumatized me when I was like a little boy. I don't know. That's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. It's really funny to think about it. It's really funny, and to me, in my opinion, I don't know. These conspiracy theory videos, man, they traumatized me when I was just a little boy, man. Damn, you know what? I thought it was gonna get too dark to film this video, but you know, this light pulse, it turned on, and I got so lucky. I don't know. David Icke, man. David Icke, old school guy, very old school conspiracy theorist guy. I advise you to do some research on him and to go through all of his different videos and lecture videos and all this other stuff. I think he actually got taken down off of YouTube, so you're gonna have to go into BitChute, because he got taken down off of YouTube, man. That's so sad. After the COVID-19 thing, because he made a bunch of videos on COVID-19 and the coronavirus, he was kind of saying it was like a scam, I don't know, and then his channel got taken down. Is that coincidence? I think not. You should be able to find him on BitChute, at least on BitChute. BitChute, how do you spell that? BITCHUTE, BitChute, like bitch, like bitch and then oot. Like bitch and then oot. I don't know. David Icke, man, he's so important to know about. I don't know, he's such an old school conspiracy theorist guy. Research about him, man. He wrote a bunch of different books, again, made a bunch of different lecture videos, documentaries. You can just find those, just type his name in and go, and then like books and then lecture videos or something like that, and you can find it on Google or on BitChute. I think his main channel got taken down off of YouTube, so I don't know about that. You're gonna have to do some research on that. I don't know. David Icke, man, he's such an important old school conspiracy theorist guy. He was in my childhood, and I used to watch his videos when I was such a little boy. Just a little boy. I used to go on YouTube on my PlayStation 3 and watch his videos. It's kind of stupid, I don't know. I think it's kind. I don't know. I think it's kind of goofy. I don't know. I got kind of, again, when I was a little boy, I got traumatized, man. I used to like watch these conspiracy theorist videos, man. I got traumatized. I couldn't go to sleep properly at night. Imagine that. When I was pictured, like when I was a little boy, I got a PlayStation 3 and I'm watching these YouTube videos, these conspiracy theory videos on my PlayStation 3 on YouTube. I don't know. Anyway, David Icke, so important, man. Do some research on this guy. I cannot stress him enough, man. He's like old school, but he's getting so old now. He's got grey hair. He's on his way out. That's so sad to me, man. Because once he's gone, who's gonna like take that position that he had? Right? Who's gonna like carry the torch that he had? I don't know. Maybe I can try. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I can start talking about reptilians and like these demonic, luciferic, devil-like entity creatures that want to kind of infiltrate our reality and feed off our negative energy and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I can try carrying his torch. I don't know. David Icke, man, you gotta do some research on him. I can't stress him enough. Such an old school guy. He did say a lot of kooky things as well, not just reptilians. He said a bunch of other kooky things that you might not agree with. Even if you don't agree with him, that's like just like with life, with anyone. Just because you don't agree with them doesn't mean that you can't entertain what they say and what they have to say and their opinions and beliefs. You don't need to agree with them necessarily. That's just, you know, David, he is kind of kooky. I don't agree with everything he says, but I do entertain a lot of his beliefs and ideas. I'm not just some kind of I don't just write people off if their beliefs are kind of insane, and that's kind of, I don't know, maybe you should do that. I don't know. I don't do that. Even if someone has like very insane beliefs, I don't just write them off and just kind of ridicule them. I still entertain them, their insane beliefs, even if they're not plausible or realistic or something. I don't know. I still entertain like their beliefs and stuff like that, even if they're not realistic. David Icke, man, he's such an important person that you should do some research on. Such an important person that you should do some research on, man. I don't know. Even if you don't agree with him, you should still do some research on him, man. Go through his lecture videos, go through his, like, he wrote a bunch of books, man. You should research about that. Go through his lecture videos, go through all the different books that he wrote. Read through them, specifically, and the Truth Shall Set You Free. That's the book that I recommend you read from him. He wrote a bunch of other books, but I don't know. They're not that, I don't know. I haven't read them. I know he wrote a bunch of other books. I just don't have the time to, like, read through, like, his literature because it's so dense. My time is so limited. I can't read through all of his books. Anyway, David Icke, super important, man. Such an old school conspiracy theorist guy. He's got grey hair, man. He's on his way out. You gotta just like at least read like "And the Truth Shall Set You Free," that book from him, man. Because I recommend it, man. Do it just because I recommend it. Because that book is like, in my opinion, his most it's like his most entertaining book. I don't know. You should read through it though. Read through that book, "And the Truth Shall Set You Free." So entertaining. It's like his most, I don't know if it's entertaining, the most interesting book that he wrote, in my opinion. I don't know. You should read through it and stuff like that. I don't know. Read through it. I don't know. I don't really have a lot more to say now. I don't know. David Icke, man, he's such an important person that you need to know about, man. Such an old school conspiracy theorist guy. Man. I don't know. I don't really have a lot more to say, but David Icke, man, you gotta, because he's got grey hair now. He's on his way out. So I don't know. Before he dies, he should at least kind of go through his material and stuff, and all the things that he's said and wrote about in his books and the videos that he made and stuff like that. You gotta go through all of his work. I think try doing it before he dies. I don't know what, like, because he's very old. He's probably on his way out now. David Icke, man, super important person to know about. A very old school conspiracy theorist guy. He's like a very important person to know about, man. He's like an old school conspiracy theorist guy. He was in my childhood, man. That's why I feel so close. I feel like so like sentimental about him, so attached to him. I don't know. Yeah, he's such an old school conspiracy theorist guy. I don't know. Don't really have a lot more to say. I do recommend you do some research on him, though. He's so old. He's like such an old school guy, man. Old school conspiracy theorist guy. I recommend you do some research on him. read through all his books, specifically And the Truth Shall Set You Free. That's like one of the most, that's the book, like he wrote a bunch of different books, but that's the book that I would recommend you like spend the most time with and research about. And the Truth Shall Set You Free. Go and kind of put that into Google, and David Icke, and then kind of just read through that book. You should be able to find a free PDF copy on Google, on the internet, and go through his lecture videos. You should be able to find them on BitChute or YouTube or something similar. I don't know. I don't know. David Icke is getting so old now, man. His hair is grey. He's on his way out. You gotta do some research on him. Go through all this like work before he dies. I don't know. He's very important, man. If you care about conspiracy theories and stuff like this, these types of things, you gotta know about him, man, and do some research on him. That's it.